Compassion. Shared suffering with someone else. As if you've listened to this curriculum, if you followed this curriculum along, you know that I am one of the biggest fans of Jackie Robinson. I mean, I just think that he was one of the greatest leaders, one of the best men ever. And Jackie Robinson was the first Black American to play Major League Baseball in 1947. He was brought into the league by Branch Rickey after intensive study to find out who was it that could put up with all the abuse that was going to be heaped on them. And there was enormous, if you read the book or if you even see the movie, it's amazing the way he was treated. It was a total lack of compassion. You want to find the negative story of compassion, read the book of Jackie Robinson. You cannot eat in this restaurant with the rest of the team. You got to eat somewhere else. You can't stay in the same motel. I mean, just over. How many death threats did he get? Well, in 1947, Jackie Robinson played first base for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And they were on their way to play in Cincinnati, which is right across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. And they received, I do not remember the number, but it was almost unbelievable how many death threats he received. And there was some thought of not taking him on that trip, because at that time, Cincinnati was the most southern of the cities. And they just knew some person without compassion was going to do something so stupid to embarrass the major leagues and embarrass America. Lack of compassion. So Jackie Robinson said, no, I'm going. If I'm going to play in New York, I'm going to play in Cincinnati. So they get to Cincinnati. And they take the field right off the bat. They're the home team. And they take the field. They're not the home team, I'm sorry. They're the visiting team. So they take the field. And there is an enormous amount of booing. I mean, just, that's all you heard was boo. And there's a guy that plays shortstop for the Brooklyn Dodgers, who was probably one of the most well-liked people in American baseball. His name was Pee Wee Reese, obviously because of his size. Pee Wee Reese was from Louisville, Kentucky. So all of these Southern people that are up there booing, and that the United States, the FBI, and all these people are scared of. And right before they pitched the first pitch, and they finished the infield practice, Pee Wee Reese walks across the field in front of a full stadium and puts his arm around Jackie Robinson. He was saying to the people in the crowd, "This is my friend. Shut up." And the crowd went deathly silent. And Pee Wee Reese stayed there for a minute, and finally Jackie Robinson says, "Get back to playing shortstop, get away from me." Because it was a little bit embarrassing. And Pee Wee Reese went back, and there was not another booing that day. Pee Wee Reese had a lot of qualities. enthusiasm, positive motivation, good listener. He had a lot of those. But he was overflowing with compassion. How deep did the friendship become between Jackie Robinson and Pee Wee Reese? That day it was cemented. Every member of the Brooklyn Dodgers, everybody in that stadium realized Pee Wee Reese was saying, this is a good man. He had compassion. The hatred, the vitriolic things that were going on ended because of one person's compassion. Is that possible today? You bet it is. You want to get a merit dog tag for compassion? Walk over to the guy in the cafeteria and put your arm around him that nobody likes. When somebody's bullying somebody, step up and say, we don't need that. That's compassion. That's the doing of compassion. See, compassion is you have a knowledge of it. And I've tried to explain the knowledge of it to you with these three stories. But it's nothing if you don't do it. The little boy that went into the fire to save his granddad, that's doing. Walking yourself across the field, putting your arm around Jackie Robinson, that's compassion at the utmost. Sadhu's carrying the man on his back to the monastery, that's compassion. The Good Samaritan, that's compassion. But all of them are not book knowledge. They're not saying, oh yeah, I've got compassion. They're doing something. You got to be before you do, and you got to do before you have. Walk across, put your arm around somebody. Put somebody on your back and help them. When somebody's being bullied and you save them, you're actually putting them on your back just like Sadhu did. Just like the Good Samaritan did. That's what compassion is. We start teaching that and we do a good job with it and we be a role model for it, we'll eliminate the bullying, the hatred, the diversity that's going on in this country. And we'll all be better people. And it starts by you being the best you that you can be.